What is up, beautiful people? It's your girl Rashima here. Thank you guys so much for tuning in to yet another video on my channel, Rashima Lemia. I am coming to you guys with another video, and in this video I would like to share some things that I learned the hard way during my first week here in Merida, Mexico. Let's jump right into it. First item of business, I would like to tell you guys, I want you to be able to detach from what you're leaving in order for you to decompress. And with that being said, you need to be able to do that in order to assimilate to your new environment. Take that first week, if you're going to be traveling long term, take that first week to really decide, okay, this is the life that I lived when I was back home, and this is the new life of the way that I'm going to be living in my new location. I want to see, what's the lay of the land? What are the people like? What is the pace of how things are flowing here in Merida, Mexico? And the pace is sort of slower than what I was anticipating. It's not slow like island life, but it's slow. It's not like fast city like in Houston, Texas, which is where I just came from. So yeah, really take the time to really decompress. Tie up any loose ends you may have prior to getting here, you guys. I came here with some things that I still needed to do for work, so I wasn't really able to just get my feet wet by just jumping into the Merida culture. I had to like stay inside, do some work in order for me to actually get outside. So yeah, if I could tell you anything, tie up any loose ends you may have before you get here. Quick break. Do y'all hear those birds? The birds here don't stop chirping. They don't stop singing. You hear bugs talking to one another all day because they're just happy to be here in the Yucatan, and I'm happy to be here too. All right, thing number 2, plan your transportation. For me in particular, I'm talking about planning your transportation from the airport to your accommodation. Plan your transportation wisely. You need to know if you're going to hire a car or rent a car. You need to know if you're going to take a taxi, if you're going to be using like a rideshare app like Uber, or here in Mexico they have this thing called Didi. You need to know before you get here how you're going to make it to your next destination. I'll tell you guys a little story about that. Here is my little story. When I got here to Merida, Mexico, I had a long 7-hour layover in Monterey, and I stayed there, and by the time I flew out and got here, it was almost midnight, and I couldn't find my mother. I thought she was lost somewhere, and so I spent a lot of time walking around the airport looking for her, only to say, hey, if she made it all the way to Mexico and I can't find her, I'm just gonna see if she can meet me at the Airbnb. Her phone wasn't working. So I was gonna take an Uber to my accommodation because I did hear that taxis near the airport can run you a lot of coin. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna book an Uber, but I found out that you can't get Uber to come within a certain radius of the airport, or they can be fined or ticketed. So I ended up having to take all my bags, which I will insert a picture here. I had to carry all of this stuff by hand and like wheel it out of the zone of the airport to get to my Uber. And once I got out of the airport, which it took me about 30 minutes to get out of the airport, only because the way that the roads are made and they have all these speed bumps, it was really hard for me to push my luggage over those speed bumps. So I won't make this video about that, but just know you need to know how you're going to get around. Thing number 3, location matters. Is it going to be something that's closer to the airport? Are you going to be farther away from the airport? The location matters because you want to know, is the area you're going to be staying in, is it a walkable place? Is it somewhere that you're going to always need a ride to get to things? Where I am staying currently, it's kind of a walkable place. Like, you can most definitely get to bars and shops and restaurants within like 10 to 15 minutes. But if you wanted to go to a store like Walmart, it might take you 25 to 30 minutes. But hey, for me, that is walkable. Do I want to do it? But can I do it? Yes, if I needed to. So you need to decide, what are some of the things that I need to be close to in order for me to feel comfortable in my new environment? Something that may help you decide on what you need in your new environment, or if this is a good location, is your length of stay. How long are you going to be staying in this place? If you're going to be staying for a shorter period of time, then certain amenities might, oh, okay, Bird, I hear you. But certain things might not be important to you. If you are in a certain environment, like let's just say for like a week or two, you might not need air conditioner per se. Some people say I can't live without air conditioner, but you might say, okay, I plan on being outside in the nature the whole time I'm going to be here anyway, so air conditioner is not a necessity for me. You might not need Wi-Fi. For me personally, because I had some things to tie up for work back home, I did need Wi-Fi, so I did say, hey, air conditioner and Wi-Fi are two things that I need as I transition out of my American way of life more into my sabbatical, living like a local way of life. Also, location also matters, because all of the things you want to do, you want to make sure that you have access to get to other places. Like if you want to have access to the bus, is there a bus that travels through the neighborhood you're going to be staying in? Is it close to things like gyms or bars if you want to frequent bars? Do you want to be in the middle of town where there's everything? Those are some things to consider. And my last thing that I would like to share with you guys is be mindful of the money that you're spending. How much money do you plan on spending? Are you going to come here and be on a budget, or are you going to be a bougie spender? Now, some people save a lot of money to go on vacations. Your girl is not one. I am not one to go and spend thousands and thousands of dollars on a trip. I want to go live the slow life and spend the least amount of money as possible so I can get the most bang for my buck. Now, if you are a person who wants to do a lot of the excursions that come along with traveling, like, you know, doing the snorkeling, going on boats, trying all the finest restaurants, if you want to go shopping, then those are some of the things that you need to be able to consider when you are thinking about the money that you want to spend on your trip. I am going to make a video. I'm not sure if it's going to be the next video or one of the coming videos, but I am going to do a video talking about things you should consider when spending money here in Mexico. Decide, how are you going to be spending money? Are you going to be using the local currency? They use pesos here in Mexico. Are you going to be using USD? Just know that not all places accept USD or US dollars. Are you going to be using your credit card primarily? And think about it. If you're going to be walking in the streets of Merida, Mexico, if you're going to be interacting with the locals, some of them might not have access to a credit card reader, so you need to be mindful of that as well. The final thing that I want to talk about in terms of money is make sure you find an exchange house. I say that because my first day here in Mexico, so after I got here after 12 p.m. at night and made it to my accommodation, and then I woke up the next morning, my mom was like, I'm hungry. So guess what we had to do? We had to walk around because we didn't know how we were going to get around or where we were going to go. We were just walking to see what was close, and we went to this beautiful restaurant that had delicious food. It was called Volta Cafe. I'll leave a picture of it right here. And their food was awesome, but something just said, Rashima, ask them if they accept USD. I didn't have anything on me but USD because I had just got there. I hadn't been to an exchange house or anything like that. So yeah, needless to say, your girl was walking around. I left the restaurant after eating my meal. They allowed my mom to stay there while I went and got pesos. I walked around for about an hour looking for somewhere that was willing to take my USD and exchange it for pesos. And all of this information about why I had to walk around for an hour will be in that next video that's talking about the money and how we're going to spend money in Mexico. Alright, so I hope you guys actually enjoyed this video. I hope you take these things into consideration, because if you're like me and you want to go somewhere and just relax, things that you don't want to worry about is how I'm gonna eat, where I'm gonna get food from, how I'm gonna get there, what things am I gonna be able to do. Take these things into consideration so that you can come detach yourself from your old way of life and decompress and get into the local life. If that's the life that you want to live, that's the life that I wanted to live. So thank you guys so much for sharing my first week's updates or things that I had to consider. If you feel like this is content that you will be interested in, be sure to subscribe to my channel so that you can get a notification when your girl posts a new video, and hit that bell notification icon because they will be sure to send you an alert when I post a new video. Okay, be sure to leave a comment down below if you have any other tips that you think somebody else should consider when going to a new place for a long period of time or a short period of time. I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.